Unmet needs open the door for the devil to attack our marriage. Unmet needs, this is true. Okay, this is actual. Listen to 1 Corinthians 7. This is the Apostle Paul. Listen to what he's saying. Let the husband render to his wife the affection due her, and likewise also the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. And likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Do not deprive one another except with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again so that Satan does not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Now, here's what this is saying. When we get married, we give our body to our spouse. This isn't our body anymore. It's our spouse's body. And so you can't get married and then withhold your body from each other, but it's a normal thing. People do it to punish each other. People do it for whatever reason. But Paul says here, you don't have authority over your body when you get married. Your spouse does for the right of them having sex and getting their needs met. Well, this goes both ways. So I was on a TV show and they were taking calls from around the country. And I think this woman was from like New England. And she said, I was telling my husband, that I want sex. And, would you go to the doctor and get some help? And she said, my husband said, I'm fine. And she said, and I'm devastated. What he did is that he took his body, and he had a problem that was treatable. He took his body and said to her, I'm removing this as a formula in our marriage. And I'm fine with that. But she wasn't. She was devastated. Then I had a man that I counseled. This was several years ago. And I'd known this man for a long time. His wife was a very attractive woman. I mean, he was a handsome guy. And he was like late 30s, early 40s. And he came up to me and said, Jimmy, he said, I'm a healthy male. And he said, I love my wife. I'm very attracted to her. He said, but she told me the other day, she said, your sex needs just stress me out and I don't want to hear about them anymore. And she checked out. And it was because of kids. They had children. And he said, I help around the house. I'm more than happy to help her, but she just checked out. And there may be other issues. On both sides, there may be other issues. But here's what I'm saying. If Karen didn't feed me at home, and she never fed me, and I didn't get to eat at home, and before I left the door, she said to me, don't you eat at McDonald's. Don't you dare eat it. Don't you eat at McDonald's. I'm going to drive by McDonald's, I'm going to smell me a Big Mac, and I'm going to start fantasizing. I said, I know I shouldn't eat there, but it sure smells good. I can see a double Mac right in my brain right now. Big Mac. And even if I don't eat there, I'm going to be tempted because I'm hungry. That's a need that I have. I'm hungry. She's not feeding me. But if Karen feeds me, I don't have to worry about being tempted because all those other smells don't matter because she's got the best food in the world. Dude, there's too much food in the world to let your spouse leave home hungry. You meet each other's needs. The Apostle Paul says, if you're so spiritual that you're going to fast sex, and he's probably talking to women, they're not men. But she says, I'm going to go on a 40-day fast if you don't mind. But he says, with consent. You can't do that without your spouse's consent. With consent is what he said. Or the devil will come and tempt you. So we have to understand, some people are jealous. Some people are jealous and they're jealous about their spouse. Meet your spouse's needs, you won't have to be jealous. Honey, are you happy? This is your body, It's not a license for abuse, it's a license for use. Okay? Don't ever let anybody abuse you. But it's a license for use. And it says, this is your body. I'll never hold it against you in a wrong way. I'll never keep it from you. I'll never punish you by taking it away from you. And I'll never give it to somebody. In other words, I'll never go serve the kids all day long and then not give it to you sexually. This is your body first. And I will give it to you. That's the way you make sure sexually that you close the door on the devil in your marriage. That's a core foundation of sexuality. And each of us has what the other needs. If we will serve the other, our marriage will flourish. We can't meet our own needs. If we could meet our own needs, we wouldn't get married. I have what Karen needs and she has what I need, and it's different. What I need from Karen is different than what she needs from me. And so I'm going to meet her needs. She's going to meet my needs. And you may have heard me tell this story before, but let me tell you about the heaven marriage and the hell marriage, because it's not biblically accurate, but it's a good story, okay? Heaven and hell both have banquet tables, okay? And in heaven and hell, there's just this incredible banquet on the tables. And in heaven and hell, people have utensils on their hands that are strapped there, and they're too long to feed yourself. There's a banquet in front of you, and you can scoop food in front of you, which is just incredible, but you can't feed yourself. And so in heaven, everyone is in heaven at this incredible banquet, and they're scooping up the food and feeding each other across the table. The same exact picture is in hell, but in hell they're so selfish that they'll starve to death before they'll feed each other. I can't meet my own needs. If I could meet my own needs, I wouldn't have gotten married. I'm married. There are needs that only God can meet. I'm not talking about a dysfunctional relationship where you're asking something for your spouse that they can't give. But there are needs that Karen meets in me that I can't need in myself. In other words, I've got utensils that I can scoop what she needs and feed it to her, but I can't feed it to myself. I need her to feed me, and she needs me to feed her. So a heaven marriage is two servants in love that are unselfish and said, baby, what do you need? You want some corn? You want some mashed taters? You want some okra? What do you want? Rather than saying, you want corn, open up, like that. I don't want corn today. Let me tell you what I need, because I'm different than you. But two servants in love just sit there and say, baby, what do you want? Babe, let me serve you. And you sit there and you feed each other. But in hell, they're so selfish that they'd rather starve to death than meet each other's needs. You have what each other needs. If you'll listen and have a servant heart, you'll flourish in marriage.
Thank you for joining us. Experience the life-changing series Lifelong Love Affair on CD or DVD. Follow your interests and get social by connecting with Jimmy and Karen and the Ministry of Marriage Today on Twitter. Marriage Today's latest book, Lifelong Love Affair, is an essential tool couples can turn to again and again for inspiration and strength. Order your copy today. Become a rock-solid partner today and equip yourself with the tools you need for a successful marriage. $14, $28, or $56 per month. Choose the partnership level that's right for you. Become a rock-solid partner today.